Okay, so we are going to do our All is Bright. And I just think this is fun. And the Christmas trees are down there. Let's see. There we go. But first, let's talk about what we've done. So the board's going to come to you already stained. And then you're going to paint it whatever color you've selected. I did a very thin coat. 2 reasons. One, I was running out of time, or daylight, literally. But also because I don't want full coverage. I like, with the edges. It's just me. In fact, when it dried, I took a piece of sandpaper and I buffed it out. And when I'm talking about buffing, I am simply talking about like taking the paint strokes out, not taking the paint off. So this was not from being sanded. I just didn't paint it in its entirety, and then I took a sandpaper and buffed it, okay? Now, I did take the sandpaper around the very edge of the board all the way around just to kind of take that off. But again, that's just the look that I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to push this forward real quick, and I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to flip it over. Now, what I've given you is in 3 layers. What I've given you is white, then it's blue, and then it's clear, okay? And what we're going to do is we are going to separate the white from the blue. And y'all are going to have to ignore my hands because I did just spill black paint everywhere. And as I mentioned earlier, I ran out of daylight, which means I'm inside my house and everywhere. Anyway, so we're going to slowly separate the white from the blue. You want to make sure that all of the blue stays on the clear, okay, as you're sliding your white off. Remember, we don't pull it off, we just slide it. We want to make sure all the things stay down. This is a really easy stencil to line up too. I'm kind of excited about this one. It's just something a little bit different than my normal comfort zone. Stepping outside the box. But also I just think it's a little whimsy. And 2020, we need a little whimsy, right? So we're going to slide it all the way off, and then we're going to line it up. Okay, so I've got the white peeled off of it. Now let me tell you about lining this up. I'm trying not to hit this. The T on the end and the S at the top both basically go to the very edge of your board. And so once you line those up, the rest of it should fall in place. The only thing is you're going to have there's one tree that hangs off, but that's on purpose, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we have a tree that hangs off, we have a T that falls off, and we have the S that falls off the top. Okay, so you're going to press it down, and then you're going to slowly separate the clear from the blue. And now we want to make sure that all of our blue stays on our board. And I'm going to tell y'all that I guess I buffed this really well. That always helps with, like if you buff it out, it'll help with that. It also helps prevent bleeds a lot of times. But like it's sticking. So I'm going to peel this off, and then we're going to get to stenciling. Remember, when we stencil, we're going to tap, tap, tap. We're going to go up and down. We don't go side to side. And we are going to use little sponges. They're like makeup wedges, basically. And that's what we're going to use to stencil our project. And remember, we go up and down. Like I said, we know swiping. Less is more. The more you get on here, the more it risks messing up. So you don't need a whole lot. You're just going to tap, tap, tap all the way around the stencil. Don't look at the way I do it. I probably should like kind of follow the stencil itself, but I guess that's where I get a little distracted and I'm like, oh, look, let me come over here and then come back over here. That's also how I have a tendency to forget things or have missing spots when I'm done. But anyway, tap, tap, tap the whole thing, and then you're going to pull it up immediately. Do not let it dry with the stencil on. You're going to pull it up. You're going to let these inside pieces, kind of like the middle of the G, you're going to let those stay down. You're going to let it dry for a little bit, and then you're going to pull those up. Remember, we're going to go ahead and pull this up. We are not going to wait. Because it can stick to the boards. Excuse the dog. I'm not making a mess here. You're gonna go and get the rest of the big pieces off, and then you're gonna let it just sit for a little bit, and then you can either use a safety pin or a sewing needle and pop up the rest.